A couple months ago, I remember seeing this tweet, and I don't remember exactly the verbiage behind it, but it was more so along the lines of if Yona of the Dawn came out today, it would be just as popular, if not more popular, than Apothecary Diaries. And it got me thinking, wow, I should really rewatch Yona of the Dawn. And it also got me thinking that although I don't necessarily believe that to be true, the fact remains that Apothecary Diaries has 2 seasons. Yona of the Dawn hasn't gotten anything animated since 2015. And that's what inspired me to make this video, because I truly believe that Yona of the Dawn deserves a lot more love, and it also deserves a lot more credit where credit is due. I watched Yona of the Dawn weekly as it was coming out. It was one of my comfort shows that I was watching at the time in high school. But when I say comfort shows, I don't mean because of the plot, because the plot is pretty heavy at times. I mean in the sense of it's a lot more of a slow burn, especially compared to other things that were coming out at the time. And for those of y'all who are unaware watching this video, Yona of the Dawn is a show about Princess Yona and her journey to recruit the 4 dragon warriors as she has been exiled from her own kingdom. And she starts this journey with her 2 loyal companions, Son Hawk, also known as the Thunder Beast, and Yun. He's just Yun. If I had to classify him, he's the party medic. He's the guy who knows how to cook. He's the guy who knows how to clean himself. Yeah, and he's a great guy. And I really resonated with this story because this was a story about betrayals. This was a story about a sheltered young girl who was ostracized from her own kingdom, and she learned some really hard truths very early on. Because see, her father was to her somebody that she idolized, somebody who she respected. And she thought to herself, wow, my kingdom is great. Nobody's at war, we're living in a time of peace. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it was peaceful and it was a great kingdom for everybody. And through the progression of the story, Yona learns that. Yona goes through her journey while she's trying to recruit these 4 dragon warriors to take back her kingdom, that life isn't so great. People across her kingdom are starving, people across her kingdom are being sold off to different countries, and there are many people within high seats of power that abuse that power in her kingdom, which is why her father was usurped from the throne. And overall, I think Yona of the Dawn has a really compelling story. The problem is that I haven't gotten past the anime. I still haven't read Yona of the Dawn, but I've been wanting to. I've heard extraordinarily great things about the manga, and the anime was honestly supposed to be promotional material for the manga. I know plenty of people online who have read the Yona of the Dawn manga, but even in today's day and age of the accessibility of anime and the societal approval of anime, I don't see a whole lot of people talking about Yona of the Dawn. And even back in 2015, 2016, when the Blu-ray came out, not a whole lot of people bought that either, which is also probably a reason as to why they haven't made a season 2. But I really wish they did, because aside from having a compelling plot, I think the characters are good too. Princess Yona aside, all of her companions have pretty compelling backstories and pretty compelling motivations as to why they want to join this journey. And even amongst the 4 dragon warriors, they kind of interpret their roles as protectors of Yona differently. They all have a common goal, but they were all also raised differently. The white dragon, for instance, was raised to believe that following Yona was going to be his end-all be-all destiny, and that he dedicated his entire life to waiting for her to show up. Now, as a contrast, the blue and green dragons kind of grew resentful of their dragon blood for their own different reasons. And the only dragon that we don't really spend a whole lot of time with in the anime is the yellow dragon. And it's kind of sad because I think he's a fun character. Now, despite each dragon's own interpretation of their duties, they all have one common goal: to see out Yona's dreams, Yona's goals. And they all admire her in their own different ways. And underneath all of this admiration and political drama that takes place in the series is just the right amount of romance. Now, Yona and Haku are the ones that kind of get the most screen time, the most kind of development in their romance, as they are childhood friends. But there's definitely dashes of romance with the other dragons, and even Yun at times, but with Yun I'm not necessarily concerned. Now you put this compelling plot, compelling characters with just a dash of romance together, and you get what I think is a really underrated show. Is it slow at times? Yes. But I've only heard it gets better after the anime. I've only heard great things about the manga. And I will eventually read it, but until then, I'm going to continue to strongly advocate that you guys check out Yona of the Dawn. And I'm also going to really strongly advocate the fact that I believe that Yona of the Dawn deserves better. But now it's your guys' turn. Let me know what you guys think. Have you guys watched Yona of the Dawn? Have you read it? And if so, please correct me if I'm wrong that it gets better. I don't see a whole lot of negative discourse about Yona of the Dawn, and honestly, I think that's a great thing. Because, like I said, I'll probably check it out eventually. I think I saw online that it's supposed to end relatively soon, so much like how I've been telling myself for months that I'll finish reading Vinland Saga, once Yona the Dawn ends, I will read it. Now, with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the continued support. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please feel free to drop me a like, share the video, or subscribe. This has been Sagi Taco, delusional anime fan who really thinks that Yona of the Dawn will get a season 2, and I will see you guys in the very near future for another video. Hasta luego.